what we want to look at in this video is primarily the tab function, which is a fundamental and important thing that you need to know in any page layout program for putting together professional type documents. And but before I get there, I want to pick up on one point that I didn't specifically clarify in the previous video with respect to the tables, and that is choosing the color of the cell itself, which in this case, as you can see, is magenta, and the color of the type. So the way we do that, because in both cases, assuming that we want to colorize all of the text, you highlight it, and the same way you highlight the entire cell block. And what you need to do is pull up your swatches, and here in your swatches, as always, what we have is the text box, in this case the cell block color, and the color of the text separately. So if we want the cell block to be a particular color, we have to make sure that we activate the little square relating to that, and I'll change it to yellow, and there you can see. Alright, and then if we want to change the color of the text, once again we highlight it, but over here in the swatches this time around we want to make sure that we activate the type tool, and then we can change the color of the text separately from the text cell fill. Okay? Alright, now with respect to using tabs, amateurs, when they are setting up rows of information that needs to line up, whether it's any kind of a table or any kind of numbers, you know, a lot of times what people do is they just do a text box, and they do something like let's say 1, and then they want to line it up with let's say I'll do my name, and they want to line it up, and so what they do is they go space, 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 and then they do it this way, and space, 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 and then they line it up. Well, that can work, but it is a very ineffective way, and things won't line up properly. So you must learn to use the tab function in your page layout programs, whether it's Quark or InDesign. And for those of you doing the calendar project, I strongly suggest that that's probably a better way to go, as I mentioned at the end of the last video, that putting the numbers into each table cell block one by one is very cumbersome. So I'm going to actually highlight in my current table here and delete the numbers, and there you go. And so I'm going to go to my master page. Here is my my grid, my cell grid table, and it's on its own layer. And so I'm going to create a brand new layer. I'm right over here in my layers dialog box. I'm going to create a new one, and this will be I'll say numbers, because I want it separate from, as always, it's why we use layers, so that we can lock in this case I'll change the name of this one because this is my grid. Okay, so I'm going to lock the grid. I don't have anything on the graphics at the moment, and I'll put my numbers and on a different layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is, in fact, come over here and create a large text box, and I'm going to make it pretty much the size of my my grid. Okay, and we'll put that there. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and type some numbers. Now here I'm going to in fact type a 1. I'm not worried about exactly where it is at the moment. Let me highlight it and make it bigger so we can see it real easily. Okay. And in my case, I'm going to, you can see it's on top of the grid, but I'm going to hide the grid for the moment and go back here. And then I can either add a tab and we'll adjust it afterwards, or not even add a tab. I'll go ahead and put tab 2, tab 3, tab 4, tab 5, tab 6, and tab 7. And so there you see, and I'm going to add a second row so that we can see how that's going to behave. So I'm going to do 8 tab, 9 tab, 10 tab, 11 tab, 12. Okay, and that's enough for us to get the point across. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to go up under type. And even before I do that, now I'm going to go ahead and turn my grid back on so that I can see where the numbers are in relationship to the grid. Now the first thing I see is that this second row of numbers needs to be down in this second row of boxes. So the easiest way to work that would be to change the leading. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Let's just change the leading. Whoops, make it much bigger. Alright, and so you can see I can do it manually. Let's go ahead and just do it quickly. I'll say 72. That's just not enough. So in fact, let's say 84. It's getting there. You know, you can keep changing it until you get it to where you want it. And that's about consistent, pretty consistent here. Okay, and as a matter of fact, then I'll just pull this down a little bit. And there, you know, I can adjust where this is. So there they are, pretty close to where I'd probably want to be.